So, what's the secret to a marriage that lasts like 40 years? I mean, we all know how things start, right? There's that initial spark, the romance, that whole honeymoon phase is great. But what happens after 4 decades? When you've been through it all, what's the glue that really holds a relationship together for that long?
Well, let's get right into it. The core idea we're going to unpack is pretty mind-blowing. It suggests that for couples who've really gone the distance, something else kind of takes over. It's not that love just vanishes, not at all, but things like wisdom of life and just simple, deep consideration for each other, that becomes the real fuel in the tank.
So yeah, we're basically looking at this incredible shift from that initial fiery passion to a solid, deep partnership. We're going to dig into the practical, everyday stuff that makes that happen. And listen, this isn't about grand, movie-style romantic gestures. It's about the quiet, powerful wisdom you build when you share a life together.
And you know where it all starts? Right here, with just talking to each other every single day. We're about to see how the quality of these little daily chats is the absolute foundation, the bedrock of a long, happy partnership.
So let me ask you this, and be honest with yourself. When you're talking with your partner, are you listening to actually understand them, or are you just waiting for your turn to talk? Seriously, think about it, because your answer right there, that points to the first huge secret of communication.
And here's the first big aha moment. It's so simple, it's brilliant. After all those years, when your partner comes to you with a problem, they're not looking for you to put on your superhero cape and fix everything. They're not looking for a consultant. They just want a partner. They want to feel heard, to know you're in their corner. They want empathy, not a PowerPoint presentation on how to solve their issue.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? It's so easy, it almost feels like a trick. Step 1, don't interrupt. Seriously, just zip it. Step 2, don't immediately jump in with solutions. And step 3, this is the magic part, just respond with something simple, like, "Is that so?" or "Wow, tell me more." That little phrase totally changes the game. It says, "I'm here with you," not "let me fix this for you." It's an invitation, not an intervention.
All right, so you've got empathetic listening in your toolkit. What's the next piece of the puzzle? Laughter. And we're not talking about it being just a nice to have. Nope. A sense of humor is described as an absolutely essential ingredient for making a relationship last.
Here's a perfect example of how this works. Picture this. The wife says, "You're late, again." Okay, that could go south really fast, right? But instead of getting defensive, the husband cracks a joke, like, "I guess I was just too popular when I was young. My friends can't get enough of me." And then she can come right back with, "Yeah, and that's why you're a walking wreck." And just like that, what could have been a fight becomes a shared laugh. That's the power of humor right there.
Okay, let's build on that. The next big idea is all about the power of appreciation. We're talking about those tiny, everyday gestures that are so easy to overlook, but are absolutely crucial if you don't want your partner to feel taken for granted.
I mean, think about it. After decades together, so much just becomes routine. The dinner that just kind of appears on the table, the fact that the house is running, it all becomes part of the scenery, like wallpaper. But every single one of those things is an act of care, and it's so easy for them to become totally invisible.
And that's why this is so important. A simple, heartfelt thank you can be a relationship saver. It's not just about being polite. When you say, "Hey, thank you for dinner," you're really saying, "I see what you did, I see the effort, and I appreciate you." That one little phrase fights off that slow, creeping feeling of being unappreciated. It's huge.
And appreciation goes way beyond just the daily tasks. This next point is so beautiful, you have to remember, even after 40 years of being a partner, a mom, the person who runs the house, she is still a woman. You have to see the person you fell in love with.
And you don't have to book a trip to Paris to show it. It's the simple stuff, complimenting her outfit, noticing she got a haircut, suggesting, "Hey, let's just go for a walk, just us." These little things send a massive message. They say, "I still see you, not just my partner in managing our life, but the amazing woman I chose." It proves you're still paying attention.
Okay, this next part is fascinating. It's all about becoming a translator. It's about learning to hear what's really being said, especially when the words on the surface might sound, well, a little prickly.
You know what I'm talking about. The wife's nagging. Oh, that word is so loaded, right? But what if we've been getting the translation completely wrong this whole time?
It usually sounds something like this, right? "Take care of your health," or "don't drink too much," or "don't come home so late." And yeah, let's be real, it can feel like a lecture. It can feel like criticism, and it can be super annoying.
But hold on. What is she actually saying? If you dig underneath the words, what's the real message?
Here it is. This is the big reveal. What she's really saying is, let's live a long and healthy life together. Every single one of those so-called nags is just a different way of saying, I love you and I want as many years with you as I can possibly get. So please, take care of yourself. For us, it's not about control. It's about fear of loss.
And that brings us to this really powerful idea. Maybe the ultimate act of love in a long-term relationship is just taking care of yourself. It's for your partner. Staying healthy isn't just a personal goal. It's a gift you give to the person who desperately wants to keep sharing their life with you.
Which leads us to our final secret. And honestly, this one might be the biggest one of all. It's all about how you build each other up, especially when other people are around. It's about being a team.
I mean, look at the difference here. The don't is so destructive. Saying stuff like, oh, she's always like this, or she has no idea, especially in front of other people, that just tears your partner down. But the do, it's so simple and so powerful. Just saying, my wife is the best. That's it. You're telling the world, and more importantly, you're telling her that you're on her side. The takeaway is just be your partner's biggest fan. Be their champion, the person who always has their back. A husband who protects his wife's dignity, who builds her up. That's the best kind of husband there is. End of story.
So when you put it all together, you see the pattern, right? A true, lasting partnership isn't something that just happens to you. It's built. It's built on thousands and thousands of tiny, conscious choices, small acts of kindness, day in and day out.
And so I want to leave you with this question. It's not about some massive overhaul of your life. It's about the small stuff. So what's one small act of wisdom you can put into practice today? Just one thing. What'll it be?